Welcome to my video on two-step inequalities. So two-step inequalities is going to work the same way that two-step equations did. We're going to solve it the exact same way. The only difference is instead of an equal sign, which we have with equations, we are now going to have inequality symbols such as less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. And remember, when we solve an inequality, remember, flip the symbol when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative. So let's jump right into number one. Remember, the process for two-step is to circle the variable and draw your t. That tells us we want to get rid of the plus 1. The opposite of adding 1 would be subtracting 1. So subtract 1 from both sides. The 1's cancel. Bring down the 2x. Bring your symbol straight down. And negative 25 minus 1 is negative 26. Now we still don't have the variable by itself, so we need to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. The 2 divided by 2 is 1 in disguise, so cross it out. Bring down your variable. Bring down your symbol, and negative 26 divided by 2 is negative 13. So x is less than negative 13. Now there's two checks that you can do. You can plug negative 13 in, times 2, negative 26, plus 1 is negative 25. So yes, the number is in fact correct. And then if you want to see if your symbol is going the correct way, you pick something less than negative 13. So for example, negative 14. So negative 14 times 2 is negative 28, and negative 28 plus 1 is negative 27, and negative 27 is less than negative 25. So my symbol and my number are both correct. So that is how you would check to make sure your number is correct as well as your symbol. So number 2, circle your variable and draw your t. The opposite of adding 1/2 would be subtracting 1/2. The 1/2s will cancel, so cross them out. Bring down your negative 2b. Oops, and I made a mistake there. I put an equal sign, but we are not doing equations, so it's negative 2b is greater than or equal to negative 5 minus 1/2. Would be negative 5 1/2, so I'm going to write negative 5 5/10, because 1/2 is 0.5 as a decimal. Now we're going to divide both sides by negative 2, and hopefully you're remembering a rule that we learned when you divide both sides by a negative. So these cancel, and you need to remember to flip the symbol when you divide or multiply both sides by a negative. Negative 5 5/10 divided by negative 2 is positive 2 75/100. So remember to check it. You would plug in this number and see, and then multiply by negative 2 plus 1/2, see if you got negative 5. And then you would pick something less than 2 75/100 and check to make sure the symbol is going the correct way, because a lot of times we forget to flip the symbol. So if we pick something less than 2 75/100, then we will know if our symbol's actually going the correct way. Okay, number 3, circle your variable and draw your t. That tells us to get rid of plus 1, so the opposite of adding 1 would be subtracting 1. The 1's will cancel. Negative 35 minus 1 is negative 36. Is greater than 7 2/10 n. Now the opposite of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide both sides by 7 2/10. The 7 2/10 cancel. Negative 36 divided by 7 2/10 is negative 5, so negative 5 is greater than n, which is perfectly okay to leave this way. Or for graphing purposes, we read it from the letter. So n is less than negative 5. So remember, we can check negative 5, see if we get negative 35, and then we can pick something less than negative 5 to see if our symbols go in the correct way. Okay, let's move on to number 4. This was a special case we looked at when we solved two-step equations. And remember, our strategy was to circle the top, and that tells us to get rid of the denominator. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by -3. The -3's cancel. Bring down your x minus 7. And think about what we just did. We just multiplied both sides by a negative, so I've got to remember to flip the symbol. And 4 times -3 is -12. Now we're still not done, so circle your variable, draw your t. The opposite of subtracting 7 would be adding 7. The 7's cancel. Bring down your variable, bring down your symbol, and -12 plus 7 is -5. So I only flip it one time because I multiplied both sides by a negative one time. I don't flip it again here because I'm adding 7 to both sides. Okay, and remember to check this, I would plug in -5 minus 7 divided by -3, and I get 4. And then I would pick something greater than -5, maybe 0, and check to make sure my symbols go in the correct way, and it is. Okay, number 5, circle your variable and draw your t. The opposite of subtracting 2 is adding 2. That means the 2's cancel. Bring down your 3/4 x, bring your symbol straight down, and 10 plus 2 is 12. Now, there's a way that you can get rid of this 3/4 in one step by multiplying by the inverse of 3/4. But I'm going to show you how to use the strategy that we learned when we were dealing with a numerator of 1, because I think people feel more comfortable with that. It's harder to multiply 12 by 4/3. So if you understand that you can multiply both sides by 4/3, then you can do it that way. But if not, I'll show you the other method we can use. So the denominator is 4. So to get rid of a fraction, we use multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. By multiplying both sides by 4, only the 4's cancel, so cross them out. That leaves me with 3x is less than or equal to 12 times 4 is 48. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is a 1 in disguise, so cross them out. Bring your symbol straight down, and 48 divided by 3 is 16. Remember, check the 16 and also something less than 16 as well to make sure the symbols go in the correct way. Now number 6. Remember, when we learn properties, number in front of parentheses, we can use the distributive property. So draw these arrows in. And we're going to distribute the 2 to both parts inside the parentheses. So 2 times w is 2w, and 2 times 3 is 6. Bring your symbol down is less than 10. Now it's just a simple two-step problem. Circle your variable and draw your t. The opposite of adding 6 would be subtracting 6. 6 minus 6 disappears. 2w is less than, what's 10 minus 6? 4. And the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide by 2. And w is less than 2. So remember, to check, you can do 2 plus 3 is 5, times 2 is 10. Yes, the number checks. And then I'd pick something less than 2, such as 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And 8 is less than 10. So I know that my symbol and my number is correct. So be sure to use both checks when checking to make sure your two-step is solved correctly. That concludes our notes on two-step inequalities. I hope you have a great day.